Tony, take us out.
He's gonna take you out. Like he's going to take
All right.
each of you out.
And end up under Giant Stadium.
Fucking Jimmy
Yeah,
Hoffa over here.
no one's gonna find you because no one's scoring there.
Oh, wow.
Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Nerds of the Round. It is your boy Tone from across the hall,
It's your boy Law.
And your boy Sebastian.
and this is part 2 of season 2 of our discussion of The Boys. We have with us Guy and Alex of Wayward Raven.
Yeah.
We are talking about episodes 5, 6, 7, and 8, and our overall thoughts of season 2 of The Boys. Unfortunately, Law was not with us in our first half, but he will make up for it
Yes.
in this second half
I gotcha.
of this season. So I would say, let's go with general thoughts. What were your general thoughts of season 2?
All right. I like to point out that because I wasn't in the first episode, I'll be in this one, and I'll put it out there. Season 1 set such a high benchmark that I personally feel like season 2 wasn't as good. And it's not that season 2 was like really lacking in anything, except like season 1 was so good, it was hard to live up to that.
Yep.
Because a lot of the like the gore fest, the language, like any of the wild out the world shit that you're like got blown away by season 1 lost that luster in season 2. So I'll say while I enjoyed season 2, it wasn't something that I was like, yo, and super hype, like go, like especially towards the back half. The back half, I kind of started calling certain things, or just like overall, just I enjoyed it, but it wasn't like, oh, I can't wait for season 3. It was like, all right, let's see where season 3 goes.
It did felt like it took a while for this season to kind of get its feet rolling. Like I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it was, but I didn't feel like you knew what the season was about aside from like what Stormfront was doing. And then it really feels like this season was really just to push it along to the third season, to how Vought's going to interfere with, like, get into more politics of what Vought's going to do with Senator Newman. And I think that's going to be the big key piece there, and like how they're going to bring in and tie it to more some of the comic source material.
This is one of those few shows where I think the show is better than the source material in that it really fleshes out the characters. A lot of the characters in the comic are very two-dimensional.
Yeah.
Huey in the comic, I mean, he looks like Simon Pegg, but he's boring. I do not like Huey in the comic, but I like Huey in the show, you know? Like, even the villains, I mean, like, they're more than just cardboard cutouts, like parodies of like existing superheroes.
How did you feel about this season's team up of Queen Maeve, Starlight, and the female?
Out of all the characters this season, I was the most like interested in hers, and I liked what they did with her, especially with her brother.
Yeah.
Especially with her relationship with Frenchie, like towards the end, where like you get to see that dynamic of where Frenchie was coming from and why he did what he had, like what he felt was right, and why she's been like so like guarded and like how she is. And I think like them realizing that is a very true thing. Like, you know, you have people you care for, your friends, that you're just like, I'm trying to help you. It's like, I don't need you to help me. I need you to just be there when I fuck up, or whatever I need you to do. And him realizing was like, so like, I was like, good job, Frenchie.
I think she opened up more to him, to Frenchie, was the episode when they broke into the facility. And then when Frenchie saw Lamplighter and that she saw that he was going nuts and it was like he wanted to kill this guy, it was like, you know, she saw a different side of Frenchie, because remember before they broke in there, she wasn't having it with Frenchie.
Right.
And
but,
I think that she saw how broken he was. It was like
explaining that story. That's even MM was like, yo, we would have gave you the pass. And he's like, what makes you think I want to get off the hook? Like, he's there. He's like fully committed to like, yep.
I think the Fresca is just a symbol of who's buying it, who's drinking the Kool-Aid. And by Edgar saying, yeah. Like when he's rejecting it, he's like, no, I'm not with you guys. We're just working out a deal. It's one to show his character that he's not making friends. He's just serving his own interests. but it's also to show who's with it, who isn't with the whole cult. And there's a part of me that wonders, now that the head guy of the cult is dead, are we going to see the cult again in the next season? Because I'm wondering if this is laying the groundwork for, like, if you start, like, you need to look out who's got a Fresca in shots. That way you know they're, like, agents if the cult is still around.
I think because of the functionality, I really loved Homelander, because it's like they're introducing a character saying, here's a character, if raised incorrectly, and given more, given the power to do whatever they want, what would that person do with it who didn't have a good moral compass and who wasn't raised well and raised under these kind of conditions? What would this character be? And I think they do a really great job of showing that. And then at the end, to give that character that moment of humanity where everyone was like, oh, for a moment you think he's going to, even through all of that, maybe come back by choosing his kid over himself. I think that was really great writing. And then to, again, give that redeemability, like throw it out the window by pushing him aside and doing the thing he did on the roof, shows like this is what could happen to somebody if, like, they were dealt like all the wrong cards, did all the wrong things, and even was given a chance to come back. Like in a movie or a book, that never happens, where it doesn't work out. In the end of a book or a movie, it happens where that person takes the chance and is redeemable and everybody loves them and whatever. I love that they decided not to do that with this character.
The dynamic that ended up happening with Stormfront and Homelander, I didn't see coming until I did. Like I realized it was happening, and I went, "Oh,
He's a perfect white Aryan man.
Yes."
It was obvious it was going to happen.
Like
I was
the minute she sees him, she's like, "God damn, your eyes are blue." And it's like,
yeah,
like
oh,
it was one of those things where like I'm watching it and going like, what's her angle? Like, remember when I first got introduced her, I was like, oh shit, like cool. And then the minute
then episode 3 happens.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, let's pump the brakes on her.
I thought I told you too that
stop.
she was that they were gonna. She's full on Nazi.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've read the book, yeah, Stormfront is literally a Nazi. And in this one, knowing, like, when they talked about who they cast and why that mattered and all this shit, I'm like, okay, when are they going to drop the swastika?
Yes.
I don't know if you guys noticed this. She had the American flag in black.
Yep.
In reverse.
Yeah.
I saw that.
That I noticed that, right? I mean, I knew where they were going with it, but I was looking all these little pieces of flair she had.
What do we need from season 3 then? Like,
I mean,
what are our takeaways?
Hero guys.
So, we're definitely getting hero. They said they're doing it season 3, but I wouldn't be. Me and my wife were talking about like potentially doing a time jump. And the only reason why I say a time jump is because I think we need to see Newman. I don't think we have the time to see Newman rise up in the ranks to eventually become president, because I do think that's the goal for her if she's a plant.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the time jump happens between season 3 and 4. Like they build up Newman's rise, and maybe it's her presidential campaign or rising to be president or something like that, and then we get a time jump where she's like going on her second term. Because I agree with you, like they probably, if they're going to use the kid, they need to age him up a bit.
So Stormfront, when she met Homelander's kid, she said, "You're the first natural-born superhero," right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's around the same time we saw the Factory still needing to perfect its thing with Compound V. So my thing was, her ulterior motive was he has to be the key to this Compound V thing. Tone, take us back out.
All right. Okay.
Tone, take us out.
Okay. All right. I'll take us out. I'm going to beam us out of here. All right. Jesus Christ.